In 1492, when Columbus was trying to find a sea route to India, he accidentally discovered the American continent. Despite this remarkable discovery, the continent was named after an Italian explorer, Amerigo Vespucci, and not after Columbus. Do you know how did America got its name and why it wasn't named after Columbus? In the 15th century, trade with African and Asian nations were very profitable for Europe, and it was growing rapidly. Europe imported salt from Mali, coffee from Ethiopia, spices from India and Southeast Asia, and silk from China. But with Constantinople falling in the hands of Turks in 1453, the monopoly of Ottoman Empire was established on the Silk Route, which made the trade with Asia costlier and harder. To escape these hardships, the European countries began to explore alternative sea routes to India and China. During the 15th century, it was believed that there were only three continents in the world. Most of the explorers were trying to find a sea route to India by circumventing the African continent. But Columbus thought of crossing the Atlantic Ocean and getting directly to India and China. Columbus put forward this proposal to several kings, but they all refused to sponsor his voyage. But after a few unsuccessful attempts, Columbus succeeded and got the chance to cross the Atlantic Ocean in August 1492. Within 2 months of starting his voyage, he landed in Bahamas Island. After landing on the American continent, he thought he had found the sea route to the eastern parts of India and Asia. This was the reason why he named a bay as the Bay of Ganga and called Aboriginals Indians. Although the climate, plants, and people here were very different from what he had read in the books, but he never thought that the place he discovered might not be Asia. Later, he traveled to Cuba and established a colony in Haiti. In his lifetime, he traveled 5 times to the American continent. Later, Italian explorer Amerigo Vespucci traveled to the American continent 3 times. Amerigo had a wealthy family background and he had read a lot of books on exploration. When he was traveling in the South America, he too noticed that the climate, flora, and fauna were very different from what has been described by Marco Polo. After spending more time here, he came to believe that this continent was not Asia but it was a whole new world. He wrote 2 letters to his friend, one in 1503 and another in 1504, and in those letters he described this new world to him. These letters were published in Europe, and after reading these letters, a German clergyman named a section of Brazil as America. Later, thousands of copies of this map were distributed throughout the Europe, and the name America got famous. Since then, people have been calling this continent America. Sometimes, knowing that you discovered something new is much more important than the discovery itself. Do you know why stupid people are full of confidence? And do you know the ideal recipe for a power nap? Watch these videos and discover more. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel and press the bell icon.